Western script, Eastern reality. This is the algorithm. Rewrite the rules. Audit point. The entropy of debt. You think you are wealthy? You stare at that string of numbers in your banking app and you feel secure. You think that's your labor, your future, the legacy you'll leave for your children? Wrong. Dead wrong. Those are nothing but pixels propped up by $35 trillion of American debt. They are electronic IOUs conjured out of thin air by old men in air-conditioned rooms in Washington, tapping a few keys. Western civilization spent 50 years building a Tower of Babel made of paper. They told you credit is wealth. They told you debt is growth. But in 2026, the laws of physics are coming to reclaim the illusion. Because you cannot power an AI server with a promissory note, and you cannot exchange a stack of waste paper for a single joule of energy. In 1971, the most shameless act of alchemy in human history took place. They took gold, the only truth in the universe, forged in the heart of dying stars over billions of years, and replaced it with a virus called credit. From that moment on, the US dollar became a global tax tool. You sweat in the East to manufacture clothes. You dig in Africa to mine coal. You toil in Latin America to grow grain. And in return, you receive a green slip of paper that they can print in infinite quantities. This isn't trade. It's a great colonialism spanning half a century. The West exports illusions. The East exports reality. Today, the bubble of illusion has grown so large that even the gravity of truth can no longer hold it. While the West is still playing the digital game of interest rate hikes and cuts, the Eastern algorithm has changed. They are no longer playing at pixel accumulation. They have moved on to atomic repossession. In 2024 and 2025, central banks bought gold at a speed that left Wall Street analysts speechless. They aren't diversifying portfolios. They are performing a survival liquidation. The Eastern strategy is brutally simple. Liquidate US debt, virtual debt, and exchange it for gold, physical reality. They are painstakingly moving 50 years of true value, stolen by the dollar, back to their own soil. When the financial storm of 2026 hits, the West will be holding nothing but shredded paper while the East holds reality. Why is 2026 the endgame? Because when AI compute requires infinite energy, and energy requires physical resources to extract, paper money loses all persuasive power. When Saudi Arabia, Russia, China, and ASEAN start asking, why should I trade my oil, my gas, and my chips for green paper that can be frozen or devalued at any moment? The hegemony of the dollar collapses. This isn't a war. It's the return of physical sovereignty. Look at your national debt clock. Every ticking digit is a countdown to the destruction of your civilization. You ruled the world with pixels for 50 years. Now the atoms have come to collect. Audit point. The marginal utility of hegemony. For decades, the West turned the dollar into the most powerful, asymmetric weapon on Earth. We didn't need troops. We just froze your reserves and paralyzed your economy. We didn't need guns. We just kicked you out of SWIFT and turned you into a financial island. Russia, Iran, Venezuela, they all faced the judgment of the dollar. But every nation sanctioned by the dollar learned one thing: how to survive without it. The more you use a weapon, the more you teach your enemies how to dismantle it. This is the golden shield of the East. They are building a parallel trade system backed by physical gold. China's CIPS no longer needs the dollar as an intermediary. Russia's energy exports no longer require the greenback. Saudi Arabia and ASEAN nations are quietly shifting their oil and commodities into yuan, rubles, and most importantly, physical gold. When your trillions in reserves become useless paper, the West will finally realize that the word credit is hollow and pathetic when standing before a 999.9 pure gold bar. This isn't a decoupling. It is an amputation, a planned, calculated, and mathematically supported surgical de-dollarization. The ultimate cause of death for the dollar, the inability to feed the energy hunger of AI. You cannot exchange a dollar IOU for a kilowatt hour of electricity. You cannot use a treasury bond to acquire the rare earths needed to manufacture cutting-edge chips. After 2026, power belongs to two things. 1, physical energy reserves. 2, AI compute, derived directly from energy. The East controls the majority of the world's rare earths, oil and gas. When they decide to stop trading the blood of civilization for dollars, the greenback is officially downgraded from global reserve to local currency. This is the final judgment of physical sovereignty over debt illusion. When you finally wake up, you will realize the world has been severed into two realities. One half lives in the hallucination of paper and pixels. The other holds the hard reality of gold and atoms. The wealth you once took pride in will become an unacknowledged footnote in history overnight. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It is the law of physics. This isn't a political struggle. It is the conservation of energy. While you spent every resource on Earth printing paper and building virtual games, another civilization was quietly stockpiling the hard truths of human survival. Audit point, the critical mass of insolvency. The dollar will not die by war. It will die by gravity. When a civilization's debt grows faster than its productivity, collapse is a mathematical certainty. The West is trying to solve too much paper with more paper. This isn't a bailout. It's pouring gasoline on a forest fire. In 2026, this debt gravity will reach its breaking point. Every dollar asset you hold, bonds, insurance, pensions, will be shredded in this black hole. You think you own wealth? No, you own a first-class ticket on the Titanic. Audit point, the proof of matter. The East has completed the re-architecting of reality. They no longer crave the credit permits issued by the West. They own the mines, they own the factories, they own the energy. And most importantly, they own the gold protocol that anchors it all. The currency of the future is not a promise, it is a physical proof. Civilization is shifting from the printing press back to the atom. The audit of 50 years of debt is complete to the West. You sold the world a dream of infinite growth on a finite planet. To the holders of paper, your wealth was a simulation that has now reached its end of life. When the tide recedes in 2026, the only things remaining are atoms, energy, and the gold that backs them. Every other asset is just noise being filtered out by the universe. You, watching this, the algorithm detects your heart rate. It knows you are afraid, because your brain knows reality is returning. Do you choose to hold on to the ash of the past or the gold of the future? If you choose the reality of atoms, like this video. If you choose to survive the great liquidation, subscribe. Share this verdict to the zombies who still think paper is wealth. Tell them, the audit has begun. If you stay silent, reality will knock on your door soon. And you will be holding nothing but dust. I am the auditor. The logic is clear. The audit never stops. I will see you on the shores of reality.